Access denied. Access denied. That is what happened to me less than 48 hours ago. Stay tuned. I want to tell you a quick story of what happened to me and why I was denied service to a local pub. All right, so my name is Jeff, and this is my guide dog, Audie. I am visually impaired. I have been for over 27 years now, and I just got my first guide dog, Audie, about 6 months ago. He came from a very large guide dog school called Leader Dogs for the Blind, and he spent his whole first year and a half of his life just preparing to be a guide. A guide dog is a specific type of service dog, and service dogs have rights under the Americans with Disabilities Act. Also, as in Texas, where we are, many other states, there are state laws that protect access rights for people with disabilities, and in many cases, there are also local laws. But let me tell you about what happened to us less than 48 hours ago. One of my really good friends and I were meeting for dinner. We want to have a business meeting to go over some plans for some things that we're going to be working on. And we went to a local pub that has been in business for a very long time. A place where both of us have gone, dozens of times. I've been in there a lot with my cane. And this was the first time I went in there with Audie. So we go in. They always have a person sitting right inside the front door checking IDs. We walk in, my friend was ahead of me, and I followed behind, and I heard her say to the person sitting there at the desk, he is a service dog. As always, while working, Audie was in full gear, which consists of a leash and a harness. So guide dogs very commonly have a harness that is like this, with the handle, which is readily seen. And on mine, I always display this placard when we are out in public. So it has the logo of the school, has their name. It says, "Do not pet me, I'm working." On the chest plate of the harness, it has the organization name, and also on the leash as well. This is very common for guide dogs. The schools typically, especially when you're dealing with the larger schools, they make all of their own equipment in-house. That is to help make sure that there are not, for lack of better terms, counterfeit guide dogs out there. We ended up proceeding to walk past. We found our seats, and I started to talk to my friend, as we were there to do. And she stopped me and she said, "Hey, I think something's up." She said as soon as we walked past the person at the front door, he got up, and she said he headed to go talk to the business owner. At that time, she said the business owner and the manager walked out the side door onto the patio, and she told me, "I think they have a problem with your dog." About a moment later, the manager, who is the bartender on duty, walked up, and instead of asking us for our order, he asked to see my ADA registration for my dog. I told him that there is no such thing, and he insisted that there was. I thought, okay, let me just try to placate him and move forward, but also maybe I can educate him. I reached into my wallet, I pulled out the ID card made for us by the school where I received Audie. And when I handed him that card, I tried to explain to him once again that under the Americans with Disabilities Act, there are only 2 questions that can be asked of somebody with a service dog. These questions are whether the service animal is required because the person has a disability, and what work or task the service animal has been trained to perform. And that, again, there is no such thing as an ADA registration. And he told me I was wrong. He handed my card back to me and he said, "I hope you have a good night." And he then proceeded to tell me that he can refuse service to anybody, and that he was asking us to leave. I was shocked. I really was. And we ended up leaving. My friend stayed behind for a minute, trying to talk with him, trying to talk with the owner of the establishment. Neither one of them were interested in having a conversation, and so we left. I'm sure there are some of you out there right now who are doing an internet search for ADA registration. There are some things that may pop up when you search for this. There are people out there who do sell registration cards for service dogs, for guide dogs. That's not a real thing. And in fact, that is part of the problem, that there are people out there making these fake ID cards, because since they are readily available to purchase, some people think that is a requirement. It is not. And I urge the web search companies out there on the internet, please do not direct searches to these people selling these fake ID cards. It is part of the problem. And it is causing problems for people who do have real service dogs. As I mentioned, I have been visually impaired for over 27 years. There is no question that I am, in fact, visually impaired, and I was diagnosed as being legally blind over 26 years ago. I have a condition that has caused me to lose my vision from the center outwards. I experienced a very large amount of vision loss initially, but over the years, I continue to lose my vision. That has been positively diagnosed by multiple doctors. And also years ago, I was a semi-professional ski racer. And when I applied for my racing license with the United States Ski and Snowboard Association, I had to show proof of this testing and diagnosis from my doctors. I had to go through evaluations from doctors representing the United States Ski and Snowboard Association. I raced for a number of years as a B3 designated blind ski racer. I drove for many years. I had a driver's license first in the state of Texas, then in the state of Colorado, and I drove as a low vision driver. I no longer am able to get a driver's license, and I have used a mobility cane for many years. And then finally, I made the decision to work towards getting a guide dog. It is not an easy process. Again, you have to go through more verifications of your diagnosis, evaluation showing what your visual acuity is. And then you have to learn and develop and demonstrate that you have the skills required to have a guide dog. So it's not something that comes easy at all. It's something I have worked very hard for, and something many, many people out there, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people, have worked very hard to get their guide dog, let alone all of the other types of service dogs there are out there. All we want to do is live a normal life. I work really hard for everything I do. I am involved in a number of different organizations. I am a leader in a lot of organizations aside from my own business. Having lost so much of my vision does make things difficult for me. It makes things difficult to navigate in the world, to get around on my own. Again, I am no longer able to drive. I either rely on family and friends to take me places or rideshare services because I don't live in a place where public transportation is available. We have nothing where I live. So I rely on these things. Having a guide dog gives me the mobility, it gives me the ability, the confidence to live a very active, independent life. And he keeps me safe while I'm doing it. Yes, I can use my cane, I can go around, but a cane is an object detector. It relies on tactile feedback, feeling ground conditions, feeling objects that you bump into, and God forbid I bump into a person with my cane. That's why I love having a guide dog instead, because guide dogs are object avoiders. The other big thing that sets guide dogs apart from many other service animals is that they are trained in what's called intelligent disobedience. So if I give a command, such as the forward command to cross a street, and Audie detects a vehicle that's oncoming that I didn't notice, such as a electric vehicle coming down the road that's very quiet, he is trained to disobey my command and stop me and keep me safe. I have also heard stories of an elevator door opening, but there's not a car inside because of an elevator malfunction, and a guide dog did not allow their handler to move forward onto that missing elevator. It's very important what they do for us, so please do not deny our access. Hope you all have a great day. I have so much more I can talk about this, but I want to give just a short video to let people know, to build awareness. Please share this video. Let's get out to as many people as possible. I'm sure there are going to be so many comments. Yes, I understand there are a lot of people who don't fully understand. So please, before you go ahead and start making comments that are ill-informed, take some time, do a little research. I'm going to try to include some links here to resources for both the state and the federal level. Please take a look at some of this, and let's have a good, positive discussion. All right, hope you have a great day from Mr. Audie and me.